Happy hello, come draw with me this evening, grab your sketchbook, grab a drink and let's chat for a while. So this evening we're sketching until the light fades away. Not really, that does sound a bit dramatic, but I am somewhat constricted by time. I started this about 20 minutes before sunset, so I'm challenging myself to keep the sketch within that time limit, and I'm forced into a corner a bit too, even more so, because the light's only going to get worse. So I have to stop the video at some point, otherwise you literally won't be able to see what I'm doing. I've been drawing so much lately and I'm really enjoying it. I've loved this added layer of filming the process and the post-production side of things, even though it can be quite time consuming. I feel like I'm learning so many new skills, but a lot of the projects I've been working on, especially for the long form content, have been a far bigger undertaking than I initially thought. So I just wanted to sit this evening and sketch a head or a bust, a statue. Nothing crazy. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to make it perfect, just allowing myself to chill out and do a simple sketch with me. Sketch with me videos actually tend to be my favourites on the platform anyway. They feel so cozy. I love the artists just rambling while they're drawing, and I love putting them on while I'm drawing or doing artwork myself. It reminds me of being back in an art lesson at school or going to a cafe with friends who are also into drawing. I've sourced this head from a 100 head challenge Pinterest board from Rule Art. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's put together some really good reference images, so I'll link that Pinterest board below. One thing that I'm keen to capture with this statue is its ethereal quality. I think ethereal can sometimes tip into the uncanny valley when something feels so otherworldly we can't quite fathom how it exists, and that pushes into, I think, the uncanny territory. It might also be because a statue capturing something soft and almost dainty, veils delicate fabric, skin in such a strong and mighty material like marble or stone, creates this natural tension between two things coexisting, and I think that tension is part of why it reads as uncanny too, but that's just me. To capture the stone and the softness at the same time, I'm using the side of my pencil instead of the tip, going in short strokes, almost scrubbing the paper in circular motions, especially when transitioning from dark to light. That way you avoid stark, heavy lines and get more of a 3D effect. It's not a hard and fast rule, but especially in portraiture, avoiding harsh lines, particularly where you're moving from dark to light, is a good tip if you feel like your portraits are getting a bit too line heavy or line dependent. I found that once I outlined the nose, lips, eyes, eyebrows, it started to feel more like a caricature rather than a living portrait or a living person. I'm by no means a photorealist artist, don't get it twisted, but this motion has really helped me stay a little bit less restricted to exactly what I'm seeing and look at a face more in its shapes, less so the parts of what the face makes up. I'm using the Polychromos pencils from Faber-Castell, just one colour, light ultramarine. This is actually my first time using them, so I thought it would be a good test of their range, and mine, to be honest, to work with just a single pencil. I was able to push quite dark and quite light, but I didn't want to go too heavy here since I wanted to keep that ethereal, wispy edge to the drawing. So there's definitely more room to go darker with these pencils if I wanted to, but with this piece I decided not to. In high school and A-levels I used Prismacolor pencils, but I couldn't find them anywhere in my childhood bedroom, so I treated myself to these Polychromos instead. Though in my search I did find my Derwent soft pastel pencils, which is really exciting because if you've seen any of my short form content then you'll know I've been getting into oil pastels lately. These pastel pencils aren't like oil pastels. I love how rich and saturated oil pastels can be, but I'm excited to have the other end of the spectrum too. That soft, delicate, pillowy pastel effect should be really fun to play around with. I think the main reason I've been drawing so much lately is that I've actively been carrying a sketchbook with some simple basic supplies with me. Lowering the friction to starting a drawing has been the biggest game changer for me. I carry a sketchbook of exactly this size, plus a smaller pencil case with a couple mechanical pencils. Using mechanical over regular pencils saves me from carrying a sharpener, especially after one too many pencil sharpener explosions in my bag. I also carry some micron fine liners, which are great because once they're dry, they don't move, bleed, run, or anything, even under paint. So if you're in the market for good fine liners, I'm sure everyone and their mum has already recommended them, but let me be the reason to convince you to give them a try properly. If you'd like a proper walkthrough of what I carry, it does depend on where I'm going. Let me know and I'll make a more in-depth video about it. As I said, I'm really enjoying drawing in the evenings to unwind, but we all have our favourite hobbies and vices, so I hope you can hear it and I hope it adds to the overall video. But my partner is playing Stardew Valley in the background, which is so cute. I think the game has such a calming soundtrack, even in summer and spring when the music can get a bit more upbeat. I really enjoy listening to Stardew Valley. Out of all of the games my partner plays, I think it's probably my favourite to listen to while I'm drawing. I think there's so many reasons why people love Stardew Valley. The replayability alone is amazing. The characters are so interesting and intricate, and there's just so many different ways and styles of playing. So if you haven't played it, I'm almost certain you have, but if you haven't, you definitely should. There's a reason why everyone is playing it and recommending it so many years after it's been released. I'd love to know what you're getting up to while I'm sketching. Are you sketching too, painting, playing a game, or just watching? Please let me know what you think of the artwork in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.